story about Mr. Stoker?
You mean the one about that blood-sucking monster?
Yes. Isn't it just delightful?
Oh, not for me. Stories like that give me nightmares.
Whom do you like to read?
I can't get enough of the courageous exploits of Mr. Holmes.
Sherlock Holmes?
Yes, he's so strikingly intelligent and handsome to boot. I'd love to meet him someday, wouldn't you?
You do realize he's just a fictional character in a novel, right?
No, that can't be. He's so real, so lifelike. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Yes, Willa, it is true. The author's name is original. He used to be a physician in the war before he turned to writing fiction stories. Ladies, may I remind you that we are not a book club?
Just because we're not a book club, does that mean we can't talk about books, even in passing?
Oh, I suppose so, as long as it does not overshadow our main focus.
I'm here.
True. Why on earth are you wearing your bathing suit? It's a bit late for swimming, isn't it?
This isn't my bathing suit. I bicycled here. This is my bicycling suit. Your husband lets you wear that out? Mark doesn't really care what I wear. As long as when he gets home, there's a warm meal on the table, the kids are completely silent, and he has his newspapers. He rarely notices anything else.
You sure he wouldn't notice you wearing this to go visiting?
Fine. I could walk through the dining room without a stitch of clothing on, and he would not notice a thing.
I doubt that.
Oh, believe me. I'm serious. I know.
How could you know that? I've tried it before.
Oh, ladies. Oh, enough about choreographic proclivities. Now that we're all here, let's pick up where we left off from our last meeting. Haven't had time to think about it. Are we all in agreement that we should declare ourselves as bi? Ladies, this is not the time to be shy. We are embarking on a new era, one which will have profound effects for not just our generation, but those to follow.
I'm not sure our silence is about what we are agreeing upon, but rather more the frequency of it.
Yes. Frequency?
Yes. Most of us, not all, are married. To leave our husbands twice a week and join our fellow kindred sisters does sound a bit much. Doesn't it, ladies? What do you think?
Maybe? Possibly.
The question is, are we talking twice a week or once every 2 weeks? Because that, once every 2 weeks, sounds much more realistic.
Quite right. Being a progressive modern woman is great and all. As long as my husband gives his permission, once every 2 weeks sounds much more manageable.
You hear yourself? This is 1899. We are on the cusp of a brand new century. Who knows what wonderful new adventures await us, and you insist on asking your husband's permission to declare your true selves? We must be bold. So ladies, are we? Or are we not bi? Yes.
Sure. Of course we are. But which bi?
We have discussed this. We are bi-weekly.
Right, but once again, does bi-weekly mean twice a week or once every 2 weeks?
Actually, wouldn't once every 2 weeks be bi-monthly?
Or is bi-monthly once every 2 months?
We will meet once every 2 weeks. But for now, let us just proudly proclaim that we are bi. We don't need to designate if we're bi-weekly or bi-monthly or even
Sorry.
So, ladies, if anyone should ask, our society is bi.
If our husbands should ask.
We're bi.
Our children,
We're bi.
Our parents.
We're bi.
our pastor,
If anyone should ask the ladies, the Progressive Transcendent Society of Daughters, we are bi.
So it's official then?
No, not yet. According to Hoyle, someone needs to put forth a motion, someone second it, then we all vote on it.
I move that the ladies of the Progressive Transcendent Society of Daughters, PTSD, are bi. That's to meet every 2 weeks.
I second the motion.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Let the record show that the motion has passed unanimously.
So now is the Progressive Transcendent Society of Daughters officially bi?
Now we are officially bi.
PTSD! 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 Who are we? PTSD! What do we want? PTSD! What are we fighting for? PTSD! What are we spread? Everywhere we go! PTSD!
Oh, ladies. I think we have been sufficiently filled with enough PTSD for what we do.
Can't help but think about the future. What with the new century is a few short months away. Think about the possibilities.
Yes. I try to imagine how prevalent the Progressive Transcendent Society will be in, say, future 100 years. You think we'll still be around?
I have great confidence that in 100 years, PTSD will be everywhere. It will influence every segment of society.
And ladies, we can be so proud that PTSD started right here. Now let's move on to the next item in our agenda, which is
The next item is this year's upcoming lecture series. Last meeting, we set our quarterly lecture schedule, but we had yet to draft a list of topics. It was decided then that during that meeting, we discuss and approve our first year of 4 lecture topics.
yes, lecture topics. Well, there is always Egyptology.
We have been to your house and seen all your Egyptology paraphernalia plenty of times.
Well, I don't necessarily mean just my items, although I have added to my extensive collection.
Lucky us.
Ladies, as progressive women, we need to broaden ourselves. Interest in Egyptology has become a worldwide academic accomplishment. We could ask the curator at the museum to view some of his items.
Frankly, after looking at 30 different beetles, one scarab looks pretty much like the next to me.
Scarab. Like having. I, for one, believe that Egyptology would be a very popular lecture topic. And I am unanimous in that.
Can she do that? Be unanimous all on her own?
You know how our Syl is, and she'll do whether she can or not. It's true.
Well, are there any other suggestions?
There's a confidence! I know Professor Overton. He gives lectures on healthy living. He will come here and demonstrate exercises that we all can do. He'll also bring healthy recipes to share with us.
We won't all have to wear costumes like that, will we? We can sponsor a high tea. The ladies of our town just love high tea.
ITs are great fundraisers, but they're not lecture topics.
Then how about phrenology?
What's that?
The science of one's head.
I thought that was called psychology. No, phrenology is the study of the shape of the scalp, not psychology. You know, some people claim that they can tell all about a person just by the shape of their head. Their likes, dislikes, personality, inclination, and such. Some even claim they can tell if couples are meant to be married just by the shape of their head. Yep, they swear by it. Pretty fanatical. You know what else people are fanatical about? Spiritualism, seances, contacting the dead, that sort of thing. fortune telling?
She would be a lark.
She's not just a lark. It's a serious paranormal science. Just like Mars.
Mars, you're referring to the outer space planet Mars?
Yes, of course. I read in the newspaper that some Italian gentleman saw canals on Mars through his very own telescope, which he claims proves the existence of life on the planet.
Martian! Really? I love music. I just love John Philip Sousa.
Oh, his band is currently on tour throughout the country. I don't think they'll add our small town to that tour.
No, but the American Gramophone Company will come to our town. They'll bring their latest machines and a variety of musical discs. It's their latest advertising scheme. And we can enjoy an evening of musical fare. And at the end of the evening, we can order the machines and the music and they'll ship them right to our home. It's just like being at a real concert. Bert and I got to experience it at the Chicago fair a few years ago, and it was pretty phenomenal.
You know what else is phenomenal? Those fasting girls in the newspaper who claim they don't eat or drink anything. One girl named Molly says she hasn't eaten a single thing for 14 years.
How do they live?
They claim to live up there.
A whole evening? Seriously? What will we do? Sit around and watch them not eat? What kind of electricity is that? Good. You've been awful quiet. Do you have any ideas of your own?
As a matter of fact, I do. This book.
I thought we decided not to be a book club. If we're doing books, I think we should do Sherlock Holmes, and I am unanimous in that.
It's not that kind of book. Not a fictional novel. The book is entitled The Lady's Ultimate Book of Knowledge. Dr. Shadrach Meshach Abednego has compiled an exhaustive collection of scientific facts, tips, tricks, secrets, shortcuts, and medicinal recipes.
I have never heard of it.
It has all the knowledge the modern progressive woman needs to lead a rich, full life of love, health, beauty, and economy. I discovered a copy of this at the Lending Library nearly a year ago. It's only been in print since '97, but I was so impressed, I ordered my very own copy directly from the publisher.
Everything a woman needs to know. But he's a man. How did he know about, every womanly matter?
Yes, he's a man, but he's a doctor, a professional scientist. He doesn't claim to have discovered everything in the book on his own. He's compiled it from multiple sources: doctors, scientists, professors, both men and women. But he asserts he has undertaken the same rigorous scientific method used by Edison, Freud, and Darwin to test and observe the accuracy and effectiveness of every claim in the book. Since I've been using it just like it says, I've improved my health, beauty, and economy.
What about love?
I'm still working on that one.
Well, what other topics does it cover?
All sorts, like how to choose the right husband.
Oh, that's a little late for most of us. Oh, except Willa. Except for Willa.
There's lots of homemade remedies. One I can attest to is opium drops. Taken just before bed, it actually eases menstrual cramps. And there's arsenic wafers ingested in the morning for a clear, healthy complexion.
Do they work?
Every remedy I've tried works exactly as claimed.
Well, what else is in the book?
There's chapters on health, beauty, love, marriage, and marital intimacy.
Ooh.
It's done very, very tastefully. A young unmarried girl can even read it without blushing. Let's see, there's chapters on pregnancy, how to scientifically deduce the gender of your unborn child, childbirth, how to raise children, home decorating, legal matters, laundry, plus numerous recipes for medicinal concoctions, balms, salves, and tinctures. to cure every illness and ailment imaginable.
That's impressive. I would like to know some of those cures myself.
I believe this book would be a valuable resource to every woman, and I believe most of those that attend the lecture will want their very own copy.
Would you be able to get a hold of this doctor and ask him if he would be interested in a presentation lecture to our society?
I hope you all don't mind, but I've already been in contact with him. I explained about our society and asked if he would be interested in an advertising lecture, somewhat along the lines of Prue's example with the gramophones.
Oh, well, what did he say?
To date, he's only done local lectures, but he is excited to expand the reach of his book. He'd like to use our lecture as sort of an experimental trial run.
You vouch for this doctor?
As of yet, I've never met him, but he has been respectful, knowledgeable, and cordial in all our communication. And because the time period is so short between our lecture, he's willing to accommodate his schedule to ours.
What about his book? Have you tried everything in it?
Impossible. The book is chock full of information. I have barely begun to scratch the surface. Mainly, I've just used the remedies to make medicinal concoctions such as homemade pills, elixirs, and salves.
Then how can we be sure the other things he writes in this book are true?
Because it's in print, silly. They wouldn't let him print it if it wasn't true.
Really? Yeah. Well, you do have a point.
Yes, I believe she does. All those in favor of asking this doctor to come and lecture with us about his book, The Ultimate Lady's Book of Knowledge, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Let the record show that the vote has been unanimous.
You know, since Arthur Doyle is a doctor, maybe I could contact him and he could come talk to us about his books. Well, sorry.
If we do a few commercials while the ladies are changing. You got a headache? Well then, try Coca-Cola. It's made with real coca. Yes, folks, that's right, cocaine. You see, here in 1899, Coca-Cola was filled with cocaine. And if you were having mental or physical exhaustion, Coca-Cola would fix you right up. If you head down to the concession stand during intermission, you should find that we'll be fully stocked of yours truly, Coca-Cola. You have weeds? Well then, you should try Acme Weed Killer. No weeds guaranteed. And if you want to have a better looking lawn than the rest of your neighbors, like to the left or to the right of you, Acme Weed Killer will do the trick. Don't wait, act now, visit your local hardware shop, and you might just be surprised that they will have it in stock. So, say bye to lie as your neighbors cry and your lawn filled with pride.
It's getting on. Perhaps we should start. Should we give her a few more minutes? Did Prue mention to anyone she couldn't make it today?
She told me she'd be here.
I spoke with her yesterday. She was kind enough to visit little Gilly, who was doing much better. As she was leaving, she did mention she was going to be here.
Are we forever destined to wait for Prue now that she has that infernal contraption to peddle around town?
I think having that sort of freedom would be wonderful.
More freedom would be wonderful. That outfit is another thing altogether, though. I'm afraid she may be giving the wrong impression to the wrong people.
The wrong impression?
You could see her whole torso.
Yes, it is worrisome, the message she may inadvertently be spreading. I don't think we as progressive women want that said. And I am unanimous on that.
Yes, but not Prue.
We all know Prue. Her intentions are pure. She wears that suit for safety and convenience. No other reason.
I know. And it's not her intentions that concern me. It's others' perceptions of her actions. I know, I'm just afraid that she may be giving the wrong impression to the wrong people.
You wouldn't make me bad. No, of course not.
There it is, Anne.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you, Jeannie. That would be all for now.
Oh, I'm sorry I'm late. I had an issue with my bike tire. I called the repair shop and they were nice enough to send a gentleman over. But even though I explained that I was late for an appointment, he did not seem to speed up his rate of repair like one iota that I could tell.
You stayed and watched while you repaired it?
Of course I did. What if something should happen and I'm not close to the shop? I should have to fix it myself. Fix it yourself? Can you do that? Yes, now that I've carefully observed the process. But I'm here now, so did I miss anything?
Nothing of consequence.
Oh, good.
I was about to give a report on our first lecture.
Yes, please proceed with.
Thank you, sir. I have been in contact with the doctor. He has agreed to our lecture date. His train will arrive 3 days before our lecture. He will stay here at our house in our guest room. He is bringing with him a significant number of books to sell after the lecture.
Did he say how many?
No, just that it would be sufficient.
Will he be coming alone?
As far as I know, yes. Why?
No reason, just curious.
When the doctor gets here, I think we need to call a special meeting with him just to discuss the lecture. Could we use this room for that?
Yes, of course. I'll send you all a message once he arrives.
We'll approve. You scheduled the theater?
Yes. Are you sure we need that large of a venue?
Requests for tickets have been pouring in rather briskly.
Wonderful. We will stick with the theater. Glenn, have you been working on the mock-up program to send to the print shop?
Yes, and I will show the doctor once he arrives to have him prove it.
Courtney and I will be purchasing the ingredients for all of the refreshments the week before. You and I will be very busy cooking, baking. The ice for the dress will be delivered directly to the theater on the morning of the event. Now, is there anything else we need to talk about?
I've spoken to the professor and I'll tell you, he's very excited about coming and doing a lecture. He said he's going to have to coordinate with his department heads and the students who will be coming with him.
Great. As soon as you hear from them, let us know. Is there anything else?
Oh, I sent a letter off to the author who wrote that book on clairvoyance. I haven't received an answer. Should I contact the chronology department at the university?
Sure.
I forgot I was going to contact the local spiritualism group. I'll do that as soon as we leave here.
Great. Now, I have been in contact with the curator of the museum, and he is so excited about the idea, and I told him I am unanimous in that. We're working on a schedule, but it doesn't look like he will be able to do it till early next year.
Well,
Well, if there is nothing else, we can consider this meeting adjourned.
Well, it's an awfully short meeting.
Well, perhaps if you had made it on time.
Not fair.
Don't you just wish you could have a quiet night for once? Anybody? You. Well, turns out I can make your dreams come true. Try Pabst Malt Extract for a guaranteed good night's rest. You can finally get that rest you've been wanting. And we'll make things easier for when your children are being little pests. They'll be out like lights. Pabst Malt Extract.
You see, Doctor, we are a bi organization.
I see. Bi as in bicultural, biracial, bipedal, bilateral, binomial, bisocial, bicustom.
Bi as in we meet once every 2 weeks.
Ah, bi-monthly.
Exactly, that's the question.
Or bi-monthly mean once every 2 months.
You see our dilemma.
So, you must mean bi-weekly then, right?
Exactly why we just leave it at bi.
I get it, less confusing. You're bi. Therefore, you meet once every 2 weeks. So, your next bi-congress is 3 days hence for my lecture?
Yes, but enough about us. Let us discuss you, Doctor. We are very enthusiastic about your book and are so thankful at your willingness to come and lecture to us on such short notice. If there is anything more we can do to make your visit more comfortable, please let us know.
Room and board while I'm here, and a chance to promote my book is all very gracious, I think, sometimes.
I hope you do not mind, but we had such an outpouring of interest in our advertisement lecture, we were forced to move it from our regular meeting place here to our grand theater hall, because all the newfangled up-to-date lighting.
No problem. I give lectures on my local county fair, and several times the crowd topped at least 35 individuals.
This hall seats 100 people.
Oh my, you can fit the whole periodic table in that.
What sort of table will you need?
Well, it's not actually a real table per se. It's actually a chart of chemical elements arranged in the order of increasing atomic number.
I don't follow.
That's because it's really or it's a bit of scientific humor on my part.
Well, I'm sure if I were a scientist, I'd be laughing hysterically. Doctor, while you are here, you will be our guest. Our carriage will be waiting at your convenience. If you should lack anything, please don't hesitate to let us know.
My dear lady, you are a very gracious host, but for now I think I might go upstairs, freshen up a bit, probably take a nap. The ride here was quite rigorous.
Yes, of course, of course. Let me show you to your bedchamber. The water closet is at the very end of the second floor hallway. Your bags have been placed in your chamber, which is adjacent to the water closets for your convenience. After you.
Thank you.
suppose young George is on his way?
No, he's arrested by the office earlier, saying he couldn't make it. Has to work.
Well, no reason to let this sit and go flat, then.
So I was thinking, maybe I should take up smoking. What do you think?
Smoking what? Cigarettes, cigars, a pipe?
I don't know. Perhaps cigarettes.
And why would you want to do that?
Well, they say that smoking tobacco is good for a healthy lung capacity.
They who? The tobacco growers?
Some scientists and academics say so.
So, scientists and academics are paid for by the tobacco growers, probably. I don't believe it. Anytime I get close to a fire and inhale smoke, my lungs don't feel healthy. They ache and burn.
Maybe it's the wrong kind of smoke. You know, when I say it, if it ain't true, reputation would suffer otherwise. You think they would compromise their integrity?
These these scientists and academics you speak of, are they men with financial obligations?
Sure, every man's got obligations. Some more than others.
Then their integrity is for sale. You just have to know the right price.
I needed that.
Still got me away.
What think that?
You know, smoking tobacco ain't a good idea. What would you say about me growing out a mustache? They're all the rages these days.
So are tattoos, but I wouldn't recommend getting one. What's this sudden urge with making some kind of change?
I was just searching for something to make me look more mature.
Mature. You look mature enough. More mature than George, anyway.
Speaking of George, he said no worries. He'd be there this Saturday. For
Good.
sure.
Because without his arm,
Baseball! I don't get the appeal. I don't like it. Why must we be obligated to participate in this event?
You know as well as the rest of us, participation in the charitable hospital round robin competition is an important way to cultivate new business contacts. We stand a much better chance of not embarrassing ourselves with George in attendance.
without him, we'd be annihilated.
I've always heard it pronounced annihilated.
Well, however it is pronounced, I don't like the word.
You don't seem to like quite a few things. How can you not like a word? What's wrong with it? It's just a word.
Just sounds so German.
German. What's wrong with German? Lots of people hail from there. My family, as a matter of fact.
They say newspapers say they even speak German in Windsor Castle.
Now that's strange. You'd think they'd speak English in the Queen of England's own home.
It's because Albert was from Germany.
I don't suppose that'll go on much longer.
Now, why is that?
She ain't exactly getting any younger.
And speaking of not getting any younger, have they come across with that promotion yet?
No.
Well, what are they waiting on? They know you're the best for the job, don't they?
It's between me and Willis Grimes.
Well, I've known the owner, Charlie, for years.
Can you throw in a good word for me?
Charlie, he's a sour old cuss, he is. But 9 out of 10 times, he makes the best decision for the company.
Well, we might be looking at that 1 in 10 this time again.
How's that? What's this Willis guy that you ain't?
A name. He's the nephew.
Oh, I didn't realize Charlie had any family that way. You know, back in school, they used to call him the lonely only. I suppose in their view, it was in poor taste to have been born an only child.
Not his family. He's nephew through the mother. First son of the wife's sister, as I understand.
Yeah, the wife's family. That explains quite a bit. His own family he could refuse if he was so inclined, but the wife's family? That's a whole new dynamic, ain't it?
Families are hell, aren't they? Double-edged sword, as it were. They suck you in, advance you some capital so that you can get a head start in business, and then down the road, when it's too late, you find out that there are strings attached to that capital. You daren't make a wrong move. They're cinched tight around your neck, those strings, like a noose.
This conversation has gone way dark rather quickly, isn't it? 1 minute we're talking about not getting any younger, and the next minute we're getting hung by family ties.
Speaking of not getting any younger, has young George popped a question here to that young chick?
Which one, James Gill?
Oh, well, I certainly hope not.
Why's that? She's quite the looker, ain't she?
Yeah, but a bit of a handful, if you ask me.
Well, who asked you anyway?
Well, where are you going?
Nuts!
Yes. Speaking of handfuls, was that your wife I saw the other day riding a bicycle down by the Chief Theater, wearing trousers?
Trousers?
Yeah.
I don't think so. If she's wearing those, I certainly hadn't noticed.
I could swear it was your prudence. Perhaps not. Whomever it was wearing a very revealing, form-fitted outfit. I could distinctly see her entire torso.
Well, if it was true, I hadn't noticed, but perhaps I should look into the matter.
Yes, perhaps. Though now that we are on the subject of disturbing matters, one that I strongly feel deserves our utmost attention is this new club that our women are spending entirely too much time on and frittering away whatever it is they have a mind to fritter.
Oh, the something of daughters. Every time I ask Cordy what the deal is, she calmly reassures me, it's not a charity. So she's not spending all my money. That's some consolation.
Gwen keeps calling it PTSD, whatever that means. The other day, she informed me that they just figured out that they were bi, whatever that means.
Whatever that means, I'll tell you what it means. What it means is that they are up to something disturbed. And by Jove, I for one am not amused. Balderdash, I say.
Well, one thing I feel deeper than my bones is the world would be a much better place without all this PTSD stuff.
It's very likely some sort of psychobabble, female hysterical derangement. These women have entirely too much time on their hands, and entirely too much of our money in those hands for that time. They get all excited in their hysterical female way and get caught up in the popular call it Celeb of the Week. Perhaps we ought to introduce them all to a good doctor.
A doctor? You really think they need a doctor?
charlatan or even a true scientist.
I wonder if he's married.
Well, would you please comport yourself properly? We are progressive ladies on a mission to expand our knowledge and passion.
Once I find out he's handsome and married, I'll be expanding my knowledge on the doctor, as I as yet don't know either.
There is no more miserable human being than one who habitually strives to grasp the trivial and mundane.
Oh, pooh. Obviously spoken by a woman who's already married.
Marriage has nothing to do with knowledge and passion. And I am unanimous in that. If you were properly educated, you would know as much.
Then why are we going to listen to a lecture on the lady's ultimate book of knowledge?
That's not what I meant. You are twisting my words.
I thought I didn't have enough education to deliberately do
Your
anything.
friends aren't here, Dan. I'll let Miss know you have arrived.
Thank you, dear.
Am I late?
No, Linda's not appeared yet.
But the doctor is here. He's upstairs freshening up. Ooh.
Have you met him? Is he handsome?
No.
No, you haven't met him, or no, he isn't handsome? No. Haven't met him. Would you two please feign practicing a little decorum?
I make it a practice to practice as little decorum as possible. Oh, Prue, you are a riot.
What is Prue up to now?
Oh, they're gossiping about the doctor.
We're not gossiping. We're really speaking aloud, talking, discussing whether or not the doctor's handsome.
He does have a certain professional air about him.
Is he married?
Not surprisingly, that subject hasn't come up yet. Is Cordy not here?
Well, this being an impromptu meeting, she may not be able to make it.
I suppose it can't be helped. Ladies, I know how much we all enjoy ice cream. I had Jeannie run out and pick us some up for today. I better have her bring it in before it all melts.
I just love ice cream.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you, Jeannie. When you hear the doctor stirring about upstairs, let me know we have some guests to receive.
Yes, ma'am.
This is delicious.
Such a delicate flavor. Peach, isn't it?
Where did you get this? Oh, hopefully not at one of those wretched street vendors. Evans, no. There's a sweet shop just up the street. How do you know we only buy our food from reputable merchants?
That is good. Because those street vendors are notorious for cutting corners. And I am
Unanimous in that. I read they rounded up a whole group of street vendors who were adding chalk to their ice cream just to save a few pennies. Can you believe that?
Chalk. Yes. Speaking of chalk, I've heard that there are bakers who mix it into their dough just to make their bread appear whiter. And some are adding sawdust as filler.
It's disgusting, right?
What is the world coming to? And yet the East?
But this is delicious. If Courtney doesn't show up, I'll eat hers for her.
You'll eat my work for me.
Your ice cream. No, you won't.
Ma'am, the doctor is up. All of them are interested to see her.
Thank you, Jeannie. Just show him in once he comes down.
This is good. We've already had that discussion.
Sorry I was late. I was at the chemist.
Is everything all right?
Yes. It's our little Gilly. Her chronic bronchitis is flaring up again.
Tell her Aunt Prue's can stop by and see you.
I will.
Back to our earlier topic. I think ice cream is my favorite sweet.
Mine too.
Mine 3.
such as ice cream are not good for the constitution. I wonder why. I have no idea.
Perhaps we should ask the doctor.
Also, there is chocolate. I do so love chocolate.
The sweet shop where I get the ice cream has the best little chocolate bonbons. The taste in your mouth, it's like,
Heaven?
yes, heaven. Rob says he doesn't see the appeal. He could take it or leave it.
Oh my, I can't seem to get enough chocolate.
Chocolate, huh? Did you know that a recent scientific study, women tend to crave chocolate when they're close with their monthly cycles? I suppose that wasn't the proper subject to start a conversation with. Ladies, I do apologize. You see, I'm known to slither nervously about new scientific facts when I first meet people.
Doctor, please join us. Did you have a restful rest?
But yes, it was very,
Refreshing.
Restorative?
Renewed, revitalizing.
restful.
Excellent, excellent. Doctor, let me introduce you to the founding members of our society. This is Celeste, our society president.
Madam,
On and around the sofa, we have Cordelia,
Doctor.
madam,
Prudence,
Doctor.
madam.
and this is Miss Wilhelmina James, our only unmarried member of government.
Doctor.
Madam.
Ooh, French.
And of course, we two have already met. Ladies, this is Dr. Abendigo.
An obvious beginning to a very wordy.
Such grand flattery, Doctor. It is kind, but truly unnecessary.
My dear lady, no flattery at all. I mean every word that I say. I mean, you're strong, astute women. You have me come lecture you about my book. Obviously very wise group indeed.
Speaking of your book,
Yes, speaking of your book, Doctor, is there a Mrs. Abendigo?
Why, yes, there is a Mrs. Abendigo, but you see, my mother is at a very advanced age, so she doesn't have a chance to travel much these days.
back to the topic of your book. You mentioned chocolate. Is that in the book, or?
Yes, very important topics, Doctor. Your answer about Mrs. Abendigo was a little vague. Are you or are you not married?
To be less vague, no, I am not married. And no, that particular fact about chocolate is not in the first printing. It will, however, be in one of the editions of the second printing, since it is a more recent scientific discovery.
When will the second printing be out?
It goes to press early next year.
How many books do you print each time?
Now, Doctor, when you said you were not married, that's not because you're a confirmed bachelor, right?
No, I'm not a confirmed bachelor. As far as the books go, the first printing was for $3,000. To date, we have sold 2,000. And I brought 200 copies with me here for the lecture. So my publisher thinks you need a second.
Now, Doctor, do you drink alcohol? Are you a teetotaler or do you abstain?
I'm not a teetotaler, as you put it, but I do consume alcohol, but only as a base of medicine. It's very useful in numerous concoctions.
How many books are you going to print in the second printing? 3,000 again?
Depending on the favorability of my lecture, it could be as many as 5,000 or even 10,000 this time.
My 10,000, that is quite a large printing.
And I owe a huge debt to your society, which is why I propose that for each book sold to your society, you keep 15 cents.
Really? 200 books at 15 cents per book is a grand total of $30 for our fledgling group. That is so generous of you, Doctor.
As well as any future orders. If your society distributes them, you keep 15 cents.
That is an amazing offer, Doctor.
It is the least I can do.
Now, Doctor, do you use tobacco? Smoke cigarettes, cigars?
No.
A pipe then?
No.
Oh. So, would you say that you have no vices at all then?
I would not go as far as to claim that.
Well, then do you curse? Beat and abuse women, children, small animals?
No, madam. I would have to say that my vice is my work. I always find that I'm either researching or writing.
That doesn't sound all that bad.
No, but at leaves very little room for much else.
Like a family?
Yes.
Doctor, back to the book. Have you settled on your lecture presentation yet?
Well, I thought that I would merely give a precise outline of each chapter. Let the book stand on its own merit, sell itself, as it were. I've had rather good success with this in the past. Does this present a problem?
Not really a problem, per se.
It's just,
Ladies, please, what is it?
It's just our audiences of the town, they're used to more theatrical presentations.
Oh, you have a theater troupe?
Well, not a professional troupe per se.
well, we have a small community theater. Though amateur in financial nature, it produces high-quality theatrical productions.
Well, I'm sure it does, but you see, I have an academic background. I have no aptitude for theatrics.
We could all help.
Good. How?
Well, we'll have Pooh here have acted and directed a number of productions. And the rest of us put our hand in doing props, costumes, and on occasion even painted a backdrop.
My goodness, you think we need backdrops?
Oh, no, nothing like that, no backdrops. But we thought we could put together just a few small vignettes that touched on the topics that you wanted to present. Get the audience kind of involved, warmed up a little.
More amenable to purchase a copy of your book.
Sounds reasonable. How should we proceed?
Oh, but you will and Pooh should get together and discuss the contents of each chapter. Then turn it over to our society, and we will make as many appropriate vignettes for as many topics as we can before the lecture. Does that sound reasonable, Doctor?
Well, this is all very new to me, but I am willing clay for your hands to mold.
Excellent. I'll have Jeannie show you three to the library.
Oh, pardon me.
Doctor, do come in. I was just finishing up a few last minute things.
What is all this?
Oh, that's just a set from our last play.
And you're by yourself? The others?
Prue left to put the finishing touches on tonight's props. And one went to the print shop to get the playbill you did earlier. It looks quite professional. I hope you like it.
I'm sure I will.
Sal and Cordy are putting the finishing touches on tonight's refreshments. Everything seems to be in order.
You ladies seem to have everything under control. I admire your resourcefulness, truly. I just hope that I don't let you all down.
How could you say such a thing? Oh,
Something the matter?
did you not feel a shock?
No.
It's just that when I touched your hand,
You felt a shock?
yes.
Must mean you're obviously much more sensitive to electromagnetic communication than I.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, electromagnetic communication, or in layman's terms, human battery, chapter 2 in my book actually, has a small section that explains the psychological phenomena between electromagnetism, magnetic energy, and animal magnetism.
Amazing. So all this human battery does is cause little shocks?
That's actually merely a small part of it. There's another section in the book that explains techniques on how to influence people's thoughts and actions, even projected from a distance.
You have used these techniques?
I've done a few rudimentary experiments, and they seem to have some validity, or else I wouldn't have added it in my book. I plan on doing more extensive research and expanding on the section to include things such as hypnotism and other psychological phenomena.
Fascinating. But how do I know you're not using these techniques to influence me here now?
That would be unethical. As a scientist, I can never allow myself to have such liberties without consent.
No, I suppose you wouldn't. Your scientific method keeps you under control.
Except with you. I mean, with all these theatrics, it's also so disconcerting.
What about it worries you?
What if I get lost, flustered, forget what to say?
You have the note cards we wrote up?
Yes.
Doctor, this is your lecture. Use your scientific method and stay the course. We'll take our cues from you. You've followed notes in your previous lectures?
I have, but those were all straightforward clinical presentations. This is also
Theatrical? Doctor, you are in good hands. If you are to feel lost or flustered, look directly at me. I will lead you back on track.
Well, that makes me so confident.
What are companions for? That is stage companions, I mean. Oh, do look at the time. It's getting on. I must run home, but I will see you this evening.
This evening.
Thank you all for coming out to the inaugural performance of the PTSD lecture series. We have a treat for you tonight. Dr. Shadrach Meshach Abednego is here to introduce his amazing book to us. So without further ado, I give you Dr. Abednego.
Thank you for that kind introduction. And yes, my father being an Episcopalian preacher, my mother being a Bible scholar, I am indeed named after 3 francs thrown into King Nebuchadnezzar's fiery furnace. Now that that little tidbit is out of the way, ladies and gentlemen, I have titled my book, The Lady's Ultimate Book of Knowledge, for good reason. This is a book every lady should own. Every mother should put in the hands of her daughter. Every young lady aged 12 and up should read. Now, for only a mere cost of $2.75, with most books costing $5 or more, they do not contain half the information that is in this work. Now, you may say, what am I getting for my money? A fair question, and I shall explain. As I list the topics of each chapter, the ladies of PTSD have kindly volunteered to perform small, informative vignettes for your viewing pleasure. Now, if you happen to have any questions, please save them until after the full lecture, when we open the floor for them. Now, shall we begin at the beginning? Chapter 1, Personal Beauty. Every lady desires to be beautiful, and you all know a woman's self-esteem is entirely predicated on what others think of her. It is your moral duty, as women, to present yourselves as attractive as possible. All may enhance their charms by following the proven scientific instructions in this book. Now, nature gives you the natural resources, but it takes art to make the picture perfect. Bright liquid eyes, clear, soft, rose-tinted complexion, beautiful hands, and a graceful figure. With the right instruction, a woman of, say, 35, 40, could easily pass as a maiden of 25. And not with paints and powders as the Jezebel uses, but with pure, healthy, scientific methods. This chapter includes cures for greasy skin, wrinkles, crow's feet, blotches, tan, sunburn, and even freckles.
Freckles? Did you say freckles? So,
Freckles.
I think I've been waiting for it to go together as a tan. It hasn't done it at all.
Chapter 1. Have a lot of freckles.
Yes. Just keep going.
It also contains cures for the most coarse, rough red hands, frequently induced by daily household chores. Your complexion will become beautifully delicate, smooth, clear, through the use of economical homemade creams, salads, and lotions. Chapter 2 are 4 different human temperaments: nervous, sanguine, bilious, and lymphatic. Learn how to identify which temperament you are, as well as other people you meet. This chapter also has a comprehensive yearly list of month-by-month, scientifically calculated, fortunate and unfortunate days. Also, the scientific importance of the exact hour of birth. There is an amazing scientific observation and some very important advice for females regarding their 31st year of age. Know whom you will marry, and not by the false parlor trick of gazing into the mirror on All Hallows Eve, but through real scientific method. Mesmerism, magnetic energy, and animal magnetism. From a distance, influence a person to think of you. Scientifically compel the affection of the one you love. Now, this is no black art, but merely scientific, mesmeric, electric attraction. Chapter 3. Now, this chapter is especially for the younger, unmarried women. It contains advice every young lady should study, important information about the female body, how a young lady should act in the presence of a young man, how a man should treat you, what is real, appropriate love, how a lady should react to a proposal of marriage, how to resist lustful advances, and how to maintain one's purity and virtue. Also, how to qualify yourself for the most important calling of life, that of being a wife and a mother.
Where's the baby?
Chapter 4. True Love and Marriage. This contains marriage practices and etiquette, the institution of marriage since Adam and Eve to present day, how to make your husband happy. Now listen to this important information. Good bread equals a good marriage. You may ask, how the two relate? I shall explain using the scientific method. Now, bad heavy bread makes for a bad heavy stomach, which in turn makes for a bad heavy heart, which makes for a bad heavy disposition, makes for an unhappy husband, which makes for an unhappy marriage. Now, on the other hand, light and delicious bread makes for a pleasant stomach, which makes for a pleasant disposition, makes for a happy husband, makes for a happy marriage. So, in scientific terms, we could say, if A is equal to B, and B is equal to C, A is equal to C. You see? Scientific method. Everything in this book can be proven scientifically. Chapter 5, Marital Intimacy. Now this contains chapters on what men expect of their wives, what wives should know about intimacy, the best cure for female hysteria, or the frigid woman. But fear not. These topics are all discussed chaste and straightforward, and should be read by every lady. There is nothing impure in this book, so it cannot cause any maiden to blush. There are subjects that are explained in this that women are woefully ignorant to, discussed in a manner in which can cause no maiden to blush. Therefore, no objection can be raised. Chapter 6, Children. The different temperament between boys and girls. Now, science tells us that men are more physical and intellectual, while females are obviously more emotional and spiritual. Chapter 7. A comprehensive collection of medical compounds. Make your own pills, salves, creams, lotions, tinctures, and drafts. There's even a cure for bicycle face. Now, all of these ingredients for these compounds can be purchased at your local chemist or at the boutique during intermission. Equal to C. You see? Scientific method. Everything in this book can be proven scientifically. typically. Chapter 5, Marital Intimacy. Now this contains chapters on what men expect of their wives, what wives should know about intimacy, the best cure for female hysteria, or the frigid woman. But fear not. These topics are all discussed chaste and straightforward, and should be read by every lady. There is nothing impure in this book, so it cannot cause any maiden to blush. There are subjects that are explained in this that women are woefully ignorant to, discussed in a manner which can cause no maiden to blush. Therefore, no objection can be raised. Chapter 6, Children. The different temperament between boys and girls. Now, science tells us that men are more physical and intellectual, while females are obviously more emotional and spiritual. Chapter 7, a comprehensive collection of medical compounds. Make your own pills, salves, creams, lotions, tinctures, and drafts. There's even a cure for bicycle face. Now, all of these ingredients for these compounds can be purchased at your local chemist or at the boutique during intermission. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Shall we start where we left off? Chapter 8, Personal Health and Sickness. What the best exercise for a healthy body and healthy mind. What to do in the case of illness. Also, there are over 40 indispensable, nourishing recipes for the sick and the convalescent. Chapter 9, the laundry. There are several recipes for clothing washing fluid, how to eliminate scorch, starch, enamel, make starch enamel for shirts, clean velvets and ribbons, remove grease, fruit stains, iron, rust, and mildew from fabrics. Even a surefire method to keep your clothes from shrinking. Chapter 10, Home Decoration, Stamping, and Bronzing. Expert advice on how to make each room in your house visually pleasing and comfortable for the whole family and your guests, easily and economically. Also, all new creative and economic ways to decorate your walls, floors, books, keepsakes, anything you can imagine. Chapter 11, Floreal. How about the mimosa?
What's a mimosa?
How about the mimosa? Mimosa? Chapter 12. Special articles needed in every household. We have, by our own personal investigation, gathered a number of valuable recipes and have paid for the rights to use them, such as worm elixir, elixir for increasing egg laying in hens, and the cures for drunkenness and laziness. Chapter 13, an overview of our legal system. Now, it is all explained very simply so that even a woman can understand it. Things such as marriage law, married women's property rights, divorce, and other legal issues. Chapter 14, revisions, addendums, and additions. Now, with each subsequent printing, new information becomes available. We will keep up with new information by adding it to this chapter. So in, say, 5 to 10 years, this book will be twice as thick. Now would be an excellent time for some questions, since we will open the floor for them. If you have any, the ladies with PTSD will be on stage waiting to take your orders. For future copies, I will periodically send more to ladies with PTSD, so you may always obtain a copy through them. Now, are there any questions?
Doctor,
Yes.
how long have you been practicing medicine?
I've been practicing medicine for 30 years. Any other questions?
What's bicycle face?
Bicycle face is a condition women tend to obtain through bicycling too frequently. It tends to strain the face, make it unattractive. Any other questions?
Why can't they just not bicycle?
Scientific studies have determined that women like to bicycle to give themselves a sense of freedom. Any other questions?
Doctor, are you married?
No, I am not married. If there are no other questions, this is the end of our lecture. Ladies and gentlemen, please have a nice day.
I didn't get the job.
What do you mean?
Exactly what I just said. They gave it to Willis.
That's ridiculous. What do you plan on doing?
I don't know if there's anything I can do.
What'd your wife say?
I haven't told her.
You're going to need to say something about that rather soon. You can't keep this kind of thing a secret from women. They get offended.
I know, but she'll be devastated. We were counting on this, and she had plans for the extra salary. You know how wives can get.
Yeah, they do seem to get caught up in their own little world to the expense of more important matters sometimes.
Yes, a bit like this new club of theirs.
Yeah, and don't forget about the book.
Don't even get me started on that. Can you countenance it? Our women have the audacity to promote some absurd folio by some journeyman snake oil salesman who claims to be a doctor. The Lady's Ultimate Book of Knowledge. Hogwash. What do women need to know besides what their mothers teach them about running a household? Obvious garbage. Fraudulent hyperbole. And I, for one, will not stand for this heresy. Balderdash is what I say.
What about this book has you so exercised? Gwen keeps saying it's got lots of information about health and fitness, as well as ways to save money.
Is George not here again? Is he disinclined to participation in our group discussions going forward?
Nah, it's not that. He had to work late. It's inventory time again. And by Jove, you are more exercised than usual today. What has you so agitated?
As I elucidated earlier, our women, this damnable book.
I really don't see the harm. So they spend a little bit of money in time and gain some extra knowledge on how to take care of stuff around the household. How can that be a negative thing? medicinal recipes, laundry, decorating. What's the big deal?
What's the big deal? I will tell you what the big deal is. This book is very likely full of half-cocked, progressive poppycock masquerading as new science. Whenever such tribe is packaged as science, gullible people, women especially, tend to believe it as gospel truth, no matter how utterly ridiculous it obviously is.
I think you're being a bit harsh on our women. We're married to some pretty grounded gals.
Well, that is what is so insidious about this push for scientific knowledge. It beguiles even the most stalwart of wives into thinking that there's a better way for everything.
And what's wrong with finding a better, more efficient, more practical way of doing things?
Oh, sure. New and improved might sound attractive, but it is rooted in the premise that what we have now is simply not good enough. That, my friend, erodes economic confidence. It subverts the status quo, and it undermines economic stability. People will become dissatisfied with everything from fashion to religion to politics to the very social order of our society. Once they get a taste for new and improved, goodbye to life as you know it.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. You're really overreacting. Our women are kind, generous, loving women. They take their responsibilities as homemakers seriously. And this book is just a way to help them become better wives and mothers. Not become some total strangers who would just disdain and ignore their families.
Jim.
Really? I have no words. That doesn't prove anything, that way.
Proves I'm a better card player than you.
Give me that.
We will let you win one of these days.
I won't.
Wynn has been spending a lot of extra time with this new club and this book in particular. She's always busy with some type of paperwork or another.
Is she leaving things unattended around the house?
Not really things, per se.
What's that supposed to mean? You sound as though you're being purposefully cryptic.
No, just recently I've noticed stuff. Things have changed.
Recently, as in the last couple of weeks since the book in the club?
No, I guess it's been the last year or so.
Say stuff. What kind of stuff? Things. Like laundry, meals, the children, what?
Relationship stuff, you know? Bedroom stuff.
Oh, that. Well, don't get me started on that. They all eventually shut at that. Yeah, all women, well, honorable women, they aren't into that stuff.
Honorable women.
Well, yes, you know, wives, mothers.
I've heard there are some women who do enjoy it.
Well, sure. There are your harlots and your actresses.
Oh, really?
What is the matter with your face? You look astonishingly horrified. Have you become infected with something from one of those ridiculous Egyptian artifacts?
Egyptian artifacts are not ridiculous, and I am unanimous in that. What I have on my face is an amazing, rejuvenating youth cream. I got it from that book. It will take 20 years off my age.
Some will get run over by the fireman, but I would not recommend that course of action. Oh, if it works, I will pay treble the price for this tote. But this, I did not sign up for this.
Yes, but let's remember what you did sign up for. You did sign up to marry me for my dowry.
Oh, your dowry! I have thrown away 100-fold on you since that fateful day.
You are exceedingly rude, you know that?
It's one of my finer talents. My sole regret seems to be that your only talent is in the spending of my money.
Oh, stop bellyaking about money. I'll have you know. I saved money with this cream. I made it myself from chapter 1 in that book.
Oh, so let me get this straight. Every year, you waste an inordinate amount of my money. Now this wonderful cream from this book will add 20 years to your life. 20 more years accumulation of money thrown away. And yet, you claim that this book will save me money. Just another example of astonishingly inexplicable female illogic.
That is abuse. And I don't have to take it. It is against the law.
The law? What do you know about the law? I can divorce you like that. All your little precious Egyptian artifacts. I could burn the lot of them, and there's not a thing you could do about it.
No, you can't. Not according to the Marriage and Divorce Act or the Married Females Property Act.
What do you want about?
Chapter 13, Legal Issues. Oh, now don't worry. I understand your confusion. It is a rather deep intellectual subject, obviously, above your abilities to comprehend, I'm afraid. You'll just have to consult your lawyer, won't you?
Don't treat me like a child. Oh, so it's come to this then, has it? Well, don't worry. I will be sure to discuss the entire issue over with my lawyers.
While you're consulting your lawyers, you be sure to mention your favorite set of women's clothing that I found in your wardrobe behind my suit coats.
Ah! Balderdash! I have no women's clothing in my wardrobe.
Well, it is your word against mine, isn't it?
Perjury and blackmail are jailable offenses.
So is abuse and perversion.
Well, go on then. No court will believe you. I have my reputation.
What do you think will happen to that reputation when I tell the newspapers about your, how should we say it, abnormal fashion proclivities?
You wouldn't sink to those depths. Your reputation would be in tatters as well.
Oh, my friends and family will gather around me as the aggrieved victim.
The domestic staff will verify the veracity of my statements.
The domestic staff. The domestic staff that I either brought with me from my father's house or handpicked and hired myself when we first set up housekeeping. You don't even know their names.
That is not true. The driver, his name is Roderick.
Right. Roderick's the driver.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been with us for 2 years.
Well, then, it seems that we are at an impasse.
So it would Chapter 2, the section on mesmerism and magnetic energy. I tried it last night. I don't think it works.
What didn't work?
Haven't you been listening? The doctor didn't come.
His train is leaving today.
I know, but I wanted him to stay.
He's 20 years your senior.
I know.
Well, did you tell him?
Of course not, I couldn't do that. That's why I tried the mesmeric energy thing from Chapter 2. That teaches you how to influence people from a distance. I tried to get him to stay, but it didn't work.
Sorry. I just don't know what to tell you. I know. Maybe you could tag on with me today. I'm going to the Japanese exhibit, the traveling one over the museum. It would take your mind off things. I'd really enjoy your company.
Thanks. I think I'll just finish the last costume and go on home. I'm not feeling up to the museum today.
All right. Suit yourself. Try not to be too blue, okay? Hey, I'm on a bicycle by later and check up. Take care.
Thanks. You too. Don't get it. I thought I followed the directions correctly. Let's see. Chapter 2. Here. Mesmer. There exists a subtle life force or energy in mankind. This force, or magnetic energy, sometimes referred to as animal magnetism, is the main agent in mesmeric phenomena and is transferable through mesmeric suggestion from one person to another. Alright. As some people are naturally more musically inclined, some people are naturally more inclined to successful mesmerism. Maybe I'm just not naturally mesmerically inclined? Mesmeric magnetic energy transfixes, propels, and compels the thoughts and actions of those we focus our thoughts and suggestions toward. You got that all right. Techniques. Remember, these techniques are not merely simple parlor games or pantomimes, but scientifically proven processes. Alrighty then. To successfully channel your full mesmeric power in close proximity, the mesmerist must direct influence or energy through the gaze. Don't stare, but gaze confidently and reassuringly while touching the subject's hand or forehead if appropriate. When is it ever appropriate to touch someone's forehead? Maybe if they have a fever? Excuse me, you're looking a bit weakened. Maybe you have a fever. Here, let me check. No. What about from a distance? Oh, here we are. To send mesmeric suggestions from a distance, use the same techniques without the touch. The gaze can be imagined in your mind. Visualize the person. An object associated with the target subject held in hand can help focus energy. This book should work, right? Let's see. Concentrate all your thoughts, wishes, desires, and hopes toward the intended subject. Visualize your thoughts being transported into the mind of that person. Then visualize a person following through with your transferred mesmeric suggestion. Repeat this process every 15 minutes until you are successful. I did all of that last night until I fell asleep. What I can visualize is me stopping every 15 minutes for the rest of my life to send a mesmeric suggestion that never actually works. If this is the quality of the rest of the book, the doctor is definitely a fraud. Shouldn't only can't trust any man, especially not a doctor. Oh.
Sorry, am I interrupting?
Doctor, I was just rehearsing our next play. But your train, isn't it leaving soon?
Yeah, already left.
You missed it?
I didn't go.
Not go? But why?
I really don't know why. You see, I was writing thank you letters to all blades of PTSD, and when I got to yours, I didn't know what to write. And then this idea just suddenly materialized in my head. I just knew that I couldn't leave without seeing you one more time. I don't quite know why.
That is strange. I'm sure I wouldn't know why either.
I'm sorry for interrupting. I should go. It was nice to meet you, Miss James.
Chapter 2.
Yes?
Mesmeric suggestion.
What about it?
I think it works.
You do? Why?
You stayed. You didn't get on the train.
You sent me that mental suggestion.
Yes?
But why?
I didn't want you to leave.
Really? Why?
You know you can make this a little bit easier for me, right?
I suppose I could. But where's the fun in that?
I'm sending you another mental suggestion now. What do you think of this one?
Let me think. Is it the suggestion that we should go get some food?
That's not the one that I sent.
Well, why don't you try and set another one? Maybe over some ice cream? Do you like bananas with your ice cream?
Sure, but mostly I like chocolate with my ice cream.
Oh yes, chocolate. You are a woman.
What do you think?
What?
You never do pay attention, do you? I thought of new paintings, so what do you think?
Yes, I could see that. But what about the old painting? Didn't you like it? Didn't you just have to have it when you saw it at the International World Expo in Chicago a few years back?
Well, yes, but this is a painting of a Japanese tea garden. I saw it, I just fell in love with it. Don't you just love it? Chapter 10 of the Ladies' Ultimate Book of Knowledge says that Japanese decorating is all the rage these days. I really just want to change. Don't you ever just want to change?
Change. Speaking of change, what sort of get-up are you wearing?
This is my new bicycle suit. Chapter 8 of the Ladies' Ultimate Book of Knowledge says that bicycling is tremendous exercise. These are bicycle bloomers. Aren't they keen?
Not exactly the word I would use, but do you have to wear that in public?
Yes, when I'm bicycling. It was your idea.
Oh, I seriously doubt that.
You don't remember?
Can't say that I do.
We were in this very room. You were reading your papers as usual. And I was going on and on about how with my added responsibilities outside the house that we're going to need another horse and buggy, one of those newfangled automobiles. And you said, we do not have the money for that.
Now that, I do remember that.
Then you suggested that if I needed to get from place to place, I should buy myself a bicycle. So I did.
I remember saying you would have to find another way. Nothing about a bicycle. But do you have to wear that?
No, but it's best for safety reasons.
Just how is wearing that in public safe?
I mean, the newspapers, they're full of stories of women getting horribly maimed in bicycle accidents. They're riding their dresses and the heels are getting caught in the spokes and the chains. Some have even died from their accidents. This as a new bicycling safety suit. You do want me to be safe, don't you?
Of course. But I just don't know how safe it is to be seen in an outfit like that.
What is wrong with this?
Well, I can see your legs.
What is wrong with my legs? Do you not want to see my legs?
No, I mean, yes. Yes, of course. I mean, you have very nice legs.
Don't you want to keep my very nice legs safe?
Of course. I mean, safety is good. Perhaps we can continue this discussion upstairs.
Thank you, boy.
Yes, dear. Here I am. Yes, dear. What is it?
What do you mean?
There's obviously something the matter.
Why would you say that?
Because you're doing that thing.
I am not doing a thing. What thing?
The thing you do when something is the matter.
I don't do a thing when something's the matter.
Sure you come in all fidgety and nervous when you have something bothering you and you don't know how to discuss it. So I ask, what's the matter? What's wrong? You continually deny anything is bothering you until eventually you tell me that thing.
That's not a thing, and I don't do that. Besides, nothing's wrong.
Really? Obviously, I am mistaken then. I am glad to hear nothing is wrong because I'm right in the middle of some very important matters here. This has been a very nice chat. Do have a good day, dear.
When?
Oh, you're still here, dear.
Can you stop that?
To get done sometime, I figured now was as good a time as any.
I have something I wish to discuss.
So you do have something you wish to discuss. I thought I read the signs of your thing correctly.
Would you please stop saying that? Once and for all, I don't have a thing.
Of course not, dear. You know best. Now, what is it you wish to discuss?
It's just that, well,
Yes?
well, you.
So we've established you wish to discuss me.
Yes, well, you.
And what is it about me you wish to discuss? Do you wish to play charades and have me guess? Perhaps to move things forward, I could enumerate a list of topics which in the past have elicited concerns about my behavior. Things such as the children, our home, meals, your wardrobe, your family, my family, the household economy, the domestic staff, my activities within the home, my activities outside the home. Aha! There it is, my activities outside the home, correct?
Well, yes and no, but yes mainly. It starts with what you're doing with this PTSD thing.
I thought we had thoroughly discussed discussed that when the ladies of the Progressive Transcendent Society of Daughters elected me to be their secretary, it would mean a little extra work, as I was doing here today when you came in doing your thing. As I recall, you said you didn't mind the time, you just didn't want me squandering all your money on some silly pastime. I reassured you we are not a charity, therefore I would not be squandering any of your money. Do you recall all that?
Yes, of course I remember, but that's just it. It seems this society of yours has begun to take quite a bit of your time. Day and night you're involved in one thing or another, like you were doing just now.
And have any of my household duties suffered as a result of my increased involvement?
Well, no. And yes.
There it is again. Do you wish to play charades yet again and have me guess? This is becoming rather tedious.
Fine. Me. I'm the one thing being neglected.
I work very hard to make sure you have a comfortable life. What exactly is the matter? Are your clothes not starched perfectly? Are your meals not warm enough? Are the children too noisy? Is the house not spotless enough? You have ample time at your club? What exactly is the matter? Please explain.
No, it's not any of that. Everything is efficient. Perfect, in fact. It's just that it seems there's no time left for you and me. We spend no time together.
We eat together. We spend an hour each evening together with the children. We put them to bed together. We attend church every Sunday as a family together. We visit our family together. We occasionally attend the theater together. We live together. We sleep in the same room together. Other than when you are at work or at your club, we are always side by side.
But that's just it. We're always side by side. Never just you and me, like it used to be before we got married.
But we are married. We have a household. We have a family. You have work. We have obligations. This is married life. We chose this.
But do we have to sacrifice one to get the other?
Yes! I think that's what growing into responsible adults is all about.
But don't you miss just sitting and talking like we used to for hours on end? We'd make plans. You'd run your fingers through my hair and ruffle it up. I would sneak a kiss every now and again. You would blush. Don't you miss it?
We were young.
And I miss, you know, things. Things in the bedchamber. I know. Honorable women don't enjoy intimacy things.
Really? And where do you get this amazingly indispensable knowledge?
I don't know. Men, I guess.
And these men tell you honorable women don't enjoy intimacy?
No, of course they don't. Except for maybe harlots and actresses.
So these same men with this indispensable knowledge who tell you honorable women don't enjoy marital intimacy also tell you other women reduced to selling themselves to hideous drunken strangers do enjoy it?
Yes. What else would they? You know?
I don't know. Perhaps the money?
How did we get on this subject anyway?
You brought it up. You know, if you would read chapter 5 of the book.
Not the book again. I'm not interested.
Not the whole book, just chapter 5.
What's so different about chapter 5?
It's about marital intimacy.
Really? The book talks about that?
Yes, and it even helps dispel some misconceptions about women, honorable and not, and marital intimacy.
Really?
Perhaps you could read it and we could discuss it.
Really? Discuss it?
Yes, let's discuss it. In the bedchamber.
Oh.
How's our Gilly girl doing?
Much improved. It seems the medicine's doing the trick.
Really? I thought you said she refused to take that concoction you prepared.
She did, initially.
Why'd you persuade her it was in her best interest?
I didn't.
You didn't force her.
No, of course not.
Then how?
You know the hardtack candy my family makes every Christmas?
Sure.
I brewed up a batch of her favorite butterrum flavor. I then added medicine within it. Once it hardened, I took her in several pieces. She was overjoyed for her special treat. She didn't even realize I had medicine in it.
You're a genius.
I didn't know what else to do. I was desperate.
You're amazing. I don't deserve you.
What are you on about?
I don't exactly know how to tell you.
Con. You know, whatever it is, we always work things out together.
I know. Just not sure it's possible this time.
What is it, Con?
I didn't get the promotion. I gave it to Willis.
They as much promised you. How could they do that? That company wouldn't be half as big and have half the clients without all your efforts.
He's the nephew.
That's insane. Never mind. We'll be just fine on your current salary. We'll make it.
That's the rub. Now that he's been promoted, he's my boss. If you think he did next to nothing before, he'll double down now. He said as much. He'll make sure I put in even more hours without a raise. I already see way too little of you and the children already. I can't do that to you.
Is there something you can do? Someone you can talk to?
Short of telling the owners they're a bunch of idiots, all I can think of is tendering my resignation.
You still have your reputation. All those clients you built up for them. There must be several who count themselves lucky to know a man with your talents.
Sure, I've had several good offers over the years. I wanted to be loyal. But now, I have nothing to be loyal for. I'd be starting over wherever I went, though. I'd be 5 to 10 years behind where I am now.
There has to be something.
There is. I'm thinking a lot about this. All we would need is a couple good products to sell, a small amount of seed money. We could start our own business. Everything is already in place. My brother has said in the past he'd be interested in investing some funds. And if his offer still stands, we can form Johnson Brothers Incorporated. All that's left is product.
Why not the hardtack candy I made for our Gilly girl? The ladies of the PTSD thought the idea was brilliant. They encouraged me to produce more to sell. We could actually tailor a number of health products made for children.
Is there a market for that?
Mothers are constantly trying to find ways to take better care of their sick children. We feel helpless when we can't use their suffering. Like I said before, I was desperate. And I know other women must feel the same. If we had a range of inexpensive, natural products children are willing to take, we couldn't miss. It would be a godsend to every mother.
But we only have the one.
The ladies? Ultimate Book of Knowledge has dozens of cures for all sorts of ailments.
If they're anywhere near as good as the one you whipped up for our Gilly girl, I think this just might work.
This sounds exciting. I would really like to be involved too. Family businesses are thriving these days.
Why not R&D?
Okay.
Product research and development. You've already made one product.
That sounds fascinating.
I suppose we wouldn't want to call our company Johnson Brothers Incorporated then.
How about Johnson & Johnson?
We may just be on to something.
Now we are called to order. When do you give us an accounting?
We have sold all 200 books that Dr. brought with him for the lecture. We have asked him to send 100 more. Of those books, we have had 43 orders. 243 books at 15 cents per book is a total of $36.45 for our efforts. We have also had a total of 67 women express interest in joining our society.
It's amazing. It's all happening so fast.
This is wonderful news, isn't it?
Yes, it's wonderful, but with such rapid growth, I fear we may run into some difficulties.
One major difficulty is I can't do all of this on my own. I keep the meeting minutes. I post the new orders along with these additional lectures. It's really taking up quite a bit of extra time, and it's begun to negatively impact my time with my family. I really feel as though we need separate committees to handle these separate enterprises.
This was one of the difficulties I was worried about.
We're not backing away from the book, are we?
Oh, no. It's proven way too valuable. I used chapter 13 on legal matters to put Mal in his place.
What happened?
Oh, it is periodic luster of divorce. This time, instead of backing down, I used marriage law and confronted him. And when that didn't quite work, I blackmailed him. I told her I found a set of women's clothes in his closet, and if he were to divorce me, everyone, including the newspapers, would find out about his abnormal fashion proclivities.
And how did you react to that?
He argued a bit more, and when he saw I was serious and I was not backing down, he said, "So, it would seem we have come to an impasse." To which I said, "So it would seem."
Oh, what are you going to do if he calls your bluff? You are going to have to make that dress. And in his size.
Already done. I restricted it with his favorite clothes. And the seamstress has been well compensated. She will swear he ordered it if it should come to that. I don't think it will.
Oh, you must be very careful. If you were to find this dress, it could ruin everything.
You won't find it.
How can you be so sure?
Well, you know that closet in back of the costume shop in the theater that no one ever goes into? No one else in there. Oh, I can't think. The doctor had numbered chapter 13 on legal issues.
Oh, right, for chapter 10 on Chinese and Korean. Japanese? Oh, wait, and chapter 8. My brain, oh, of course.
Chapter 7 and all those medicinal recipes are a godsend. Con and I are going to manufacture and distribute the cure I made for our Gilly girl. We're going to call it Gilly's Cure.
That is amazing. Now, since Rob has read chapter 5, our relationship has never been better.
Speaking of the book, I used chapter 2 on the doctor, and it actually worked. But speaking of the doctor, has anyone seen him recently?
The last I saw of the doctor was on the day his train left. The driver took him and all of his bags to the train station. I just assumed he got on the train.
He did not get on the train.
Why not?
As I said, chapter 2, the mesmeric energy thing, a few minutes after he left the theater group, he showed up. He said he decided not to get on the train after all.
What happened?
We had ice cream and chocolate.
And chocolate.
Of course not, Jeannie and Sarah. Thank you. That will be all for now.
Ladies, pardon the interruption. You see, I had not planned on being here tonight.
Doctor, where did you go?
If you would all be so kind to indulge me for one moment.
Doctor, we are all indebted to you. The floor is yours.
I just got back from my publishers, and they're very enthusiastic on a national tour about the book, about the model you ladies created on my book.
But I thought you said...
Yes, my dear Willa. I mean, Miss James. I know exactly what I said, and I meant every word. I have hired rooms locally, and I am intent on moving my base of operations here. I could research and write from anywhere. And I did say I had a few things to settle with my publishers to get this all in motion. But it's been kind of hard to concentrate with constant mental suggestions bombarding.
I wasn't sure you were actually receiving any of them.
All of you ladies are so amazing. You've taken my work and my book and done things I couldn't even imagine possible. I thought that I could help the women by showing them the new scientific truths to improve their lot in life just a bit. But you've grasped my knowledge and you've run with it in directions I didn't even know existed. You've opened my eyes to so many new possibilities. It is I who am truly indebted to all of you.
So, Doctor, if you're moving your base of operations here, does that mean that the two of you...
Yes. It means I have asked Miss James' parents' permission to court her.